I am getting ready to make little pumpkin cakes using this mini bundt cake pan. I got the idea to make little pumpkins from the Preppy Kitchen. It's a guy I follow on Instagram. He made these little pumpkins with this mold, and he has a website, and I think he does YouTube videos too, and it was very cute. He also has a pumpkin cake recipe that he used. I'm not using his recipe. All I'm doing is using the idea to use this pan. You take two of these, put them on top of each other, and they look like a pumpkin. So it's a clever idea. I'm sure his recipe's awesome, but he has a lot of ingredients, and I want to just stick with what I have in the kitchen. So I went through my mother-in-law's cookbook and just found a basic pumpkin cupcake recipe. You just have all your basics: eggs, cinnamon, baking powder, baking soda, pumpkin puree, sugar, flour, and oil. It's just a basic recipe. And then after I have the pumpkins made, I'm going to use my buttercream white frosting, and I am going to turn these into Jack Skellington pumpkins. I just got this stencil online. It's just a reference because I will have black icing and I will hand paint his face on each of the pumpkins. So yeah, it's like the 25th anniversary this year of The Nightmare Before Christmas, so I thought I would make a bunch of little white pumpkins to celebrate that. Alright, I combined all the ingredients. I did the dry separately, the wet separately, and then I combined both in my KitchenAid, and this batter looks really, really good. It doesn't taste good because it's pumpkin. I mean, it does taste good, but it's not like sweet like cookie dough. But it just tastes like pumpkin, which is what I want. So now I'm gonna pour it into the cake pan. And only like half, not even like, just like halfway full, because they will rise really well. And then I'm gonna cut the top off anyway, so they rest on each other even, so I don't need to fill it too full. Alright, the first batch is drying on the cooling rack. They look really good, and so it would go even into the pan. I did put the pumpkin batter in a bag so I could pipe it in. It just makes it a lot easier so it doesn't like stick to the side and stuff. So anyway, just using a Ziploc baggie as a piping bag, and it makes me get like just 2 even loops so they look pretty even, if that makes sense. If you watch the Preppy Kitchen, he showed how he did it. I highly recommend watching him. I'm not a teacher. He is definitely a teacher. Alright, the little mini cakes are done. The batter made 16, which is fine. I think if I would have made regular cupcakes, it would have made more. But these are a little bigger than regular cupcakes. And anyway, they're just going to cool down, and then I'm going to make 2 types of icing. I'm going to make cream cheese icing for the middle. Since I'm going to be layering 2 of these together, I want cream cheese in the middle, and then to fill up the hole. And then on the outside, I'm going to do my standard buttercream. Alright, the next step is I'm going to make a basic cream cheese frosting. It's 1 package of cream cheese, softened. I've just let it sit out for an hour or 2. I don't really like to microwave like butter or cream cheese, so when it says softened, I just let it sit out for a little bit. And then 2 cups of powdered sugar and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So first, you just put the cream cheese in by itself, beat it until it gets a little soft, and then add the vanilla and powdered sugar. Alright, this is the cream cheese frosting I just made, and next step is I'm going to take 2 of the pumpkins, and this one looks pretty flat, but I don't know if you can see it. It looks pretty flat, but I still want to make sure it's perfectly flat, so I'm just going to cut the top off right there. I want to let it flat like that. And then, well, I'm not throwing this away. I'm going to taste test real quick. Oh my god, that's good. It's just a basic pumpkin cake recipe, but it's good. I'm gonna eat this other and finish it off. Oh my god, that is really good. I'm happy that I just did the basic. Alright, so the idea is to have these two stick together where it kind of looks like a pumpkin. So I'm taking the cream cheese frosting and I am just doing a thin layer. I could pipe it. I don't really feel like piping right now. It's going to be covered up anyway. Basically just enough to make them stick together. Line it up. And there you go. I'm just going to do that to all these. Sorry, my arms. I'm reaching over here. Okay, let me do one more. I'm not throwing these tops away. All right, oh, I made that one not quite even. Oops. I know, that's a lot. That's a lot of icing. You're gonna line it up as best as you can and put it back down. And that kind of looks like a pumpkin. All right, I'm gonna do the rest. All right, so that made 8 of these mini pumpkins, and here's the extra tops. I'll just snack on them this week. And then I had a little icing left over. I think maybe I could have used a little more in the middle. I guess I was being too stingy on the icing. But it's gonna be covered with buttercream icing. This cream cheese is, you have to like cream cheese frosting. It's not my favorite. My husband loves it. So I don't want the cream cheese frosting to be overbearing because I really want the buttercream to come through. So basically I just was using that to keep them together. And then I'll just, I don't know, save this for, I don't know, snack on it this week. Maybe Robert will like it. So the next step is I'm gonna make buttercream icing. If you wanted to make them like Thanksgiving pumpkins, then you would add, you know, like orange food coloring to the buttercream. But I'm not, I'm leaving them white because Jack Skellington is white. So these will be frosted white, and then I have black icing for his face. So next step is to make the white buttercream frosting. All right, I'm ready for the first step in the icing process. I made a batch of white buttercream. I'm putting a piece of wax paper down, and then I am taking one of the pumpkins and putting it on the wax paper. This is just so I don't get icing everywhere and I can peel it off the wax paper when I'm done. Okay. So I'm just going to take butter. Well, first thing is first, there's a hole in the middle. So I'm gonna go ahead and just stuff a piece of the top that we cut off and just stuff it in there. So there's not like a huge hole that the icing's gonna get stuck in. Okay, and now just ice it. It's this, I'm just putting a layer of icing because I'm gonna sculpt it later. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just you want everything covered. Oops. There's no easy way to do this or a neat way. Just keep layering icing until everything is covered. All right, guess I could have put a piece of dollop of icing down so it would be stuck to the wax paper, because it keeps moving around on the wax paper. All right, and then now you're gonna just skim up. I don't know what this is. You can just take like a piece of like plastic, like a spatula or a Pampered Chef scraper. Just wants to give it a shape, like a pumpkin definition. So I'm just smoothing it up. Oops. Try not to press too hard because you don't want to expose your cake underneath. So all I'm doing, there's a little cake exposed right there. Just trying to give it lines that are going up. Oh, I missed the spot down there. Just trying to give it lines going up. All right, it's not done yet, but it's pretty, it's getting there. It's looking good. It's got some, oops. Until I mess it. Okay. Oh, let me put some more icing right there. My icing is not as smooth as I normally get it. I didn't let the butter get to room temperature. My mistake. And so the butter is not as smooth. I really should have let it sit out a little longer. It still tastes great. It's just not as smooth as I normally like it, or as I normally get it. Okay, all right, so now it just looks like a big white blob. I'm gonna ice all of them, and then I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes because I want the icing to get firm, so then I can sculpt the final stage. All right, here is the pumpkin. It's just been sitting in the fridge for like an hour. So all I'm doing is just taking another plastic scraper and I am just smoothing it out a little. I'm still trying to smooth it. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just for me and my husband. And then if you wanted to like make indentions in it to make it look like pumpkin serrations, I'm not going to be that particular. And then I went and got some black licorice, and so put the black licorice at the top. That is the stock, the pumpkin stock. And then this is just the stencil of Jack Skellington's face. I'm just using that as a reference. I'm gonna freehand with this, this is just like typical black icing you buy at the grocery store. So I'm gonna freehand this, and just warning, I'm not I'm not a really good freehand artist. So I've already done one. It looks okay. It's not the best, but I'll try it again. The more I do it, the better I'll get, but I'm just looking at the stencil and trying to make it look like Jack Skellington. I don't know if it's going to. And then his nose. Oh my God. And then his smile. So you could make black icing, but honestly, this is only a couple bucks at the grocery store. It's just easier to get it already in the tube. Oops. Oh my God, come on, so close. Okay. Yeah, definitely not the best, but you get the idea that, you know, kind of looks like Jack Skellington, right? To me, it actually looks like a white chocolate apple. It's not, it really is a pumpkin cake. And then I have, here, let's see, I'm just scooping it off of the wax paper. And then I'm putting it on my little cake stand right here. I'll show you in 2 seconds. Bear with me as I put them on my cake stand. Slide it onto my cake stand. And I'm going to show you the 2 that I've done so far. Let's see. There's the 2 I have on my cake stand. And then I will go get my husband and have him cut one open. See, this was my first try. Like I said, I'm not a freehand artist. The second one, you can tell it already looks better. So by the time I'm done with 8, the 8th should be perfect, right? All right, here is the completed 8 cakes. They look pretty good. First time drawing Jack's face. Pretty good. Alright, let's cut one open, see how good it looks on the inside. This is the taste test one. Alright, so. Oh my goodness. That looks really good. Look at that. Pumpkin. 2 layers, you can see the cream cheese. That looks really good. Alright, we're going to do a taste test. So this is pumpkin. I think it's just called pumpkin cake. I want to make sure I get some of the cream cheese in the middle. Oh my god. That's really good. It's not too sweet. And I usually prefer sweet, but it's really good. It's really, really good. They were fun to make. Alright, I'm gonna finish this bite. Thanks for watching. Let me stop.